Arch is jacked. Arch is jacked. Look at him. We've got Peyton Manning, who I see some abs there, but we do see the protruded stomach as Peyton had that. He had that spine that kind of bowed out. You know, that's why his shoulders are back when he walks. If you're watching on YouTube, by the way, hit that subscribe and like button, turn the notifications on. I'm doing my Peyton Manning walk right now in my chair, which is the shoulders are slightly back and the arms slightly extended. Eli Manning, not jacked. Arch Manning, jacked. Does that mean he's a better athlete than Peyton or Eli just because he's jacked? Because he's got like the little V that goes down on the obliques. He's got the abs. He's got all that going on. So does that mean he's a better athlete than Eli Peyton? Raw athlete. Notice I didn't say quarterback, Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. Let's
be honest, Caleb. You're trying to pull back your affinity for Arch being jacked.
Arch is barely 18. No. Okay. I will say, yeah, I said since he was in 8th grade, which when I first covered his recruiting, that he was a better athlete than Peyton or Eli. And I'm thoroughly convinced he's a better athlete than Peyton or Eli. And yeah, no, I don't even really think it's a question. I think he's definitely the best athlete of the younger Manning generations to play quarterback. And so whether or not that turns into being an elite drop back passer is a different story. But yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you, Dave. Yeah, I think that he's the best athlete between him, Peyton, and Eli. And I don't think it's particularly close.
Nope. 4 Downs brought to you by Zen Sports. I'll tell you more. 4 Downs is now on Off the Hook Sports.
4 downs. 4 questions. 4 answers. The Dave Hooker Show.
4
Downs. A presentation of offthehooksports.com.
I'm going to make this tough on you. Arch Manning's game will be what percentage of running the football? Peyton Manning's game was about 5%, which is basically a fake bootleg, right?
I mean, he always had – Peyton Manning probably had more epic runs than any quarterback ever with that bootleg, though.
Okay, yeah, but that wasn't a big percentage of his game. Eli was more athletic, so it was 10% of his game. Like, for instance, I'm saying Lamar Jackson, it's like 70% or 60% now. He throws the ball better than he did when he came into the NFL. But so that's the kind of percentage I'm using to give you a benchmark. Arch Manning, jacked, will be what percentage of an athlete at quarterback in which he really scares you?
I think he'll use his legs 30% of the time. I see kind of an Aaron Rodgers type with him. So, and Aaron Rodgers uses his legs about 30% of the time. Now, where I say he's better than Aaron Rodgers, in this, I don't mean he's better than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, where I think he's going to be smarter than Aaron Rodgers, and this is what Patrick Mahomes has. Dave, one of the most underrated flaws in Aaron Rodgers' game. Did you ever notice he always immediately tried to roll out the minute he took the snap? He didn't like throwing from the pocket that much. And I think Arch is going to have the Patrick Mahomes factor where he's going to be comfortable throwing from the pocket. But that's why I put it at maybe I'll down it to 25% because I think that he's going to try to stay in the pocket.
I think everybody has to see. I agree with you, but I think everybody has to be at least 20% nowadays. I don't think that you can run around out there and be a stiff in the pocket. I think that's part of the reason that Brady was ready to cruise on out. By the way, what down was that, Coop?
Coop here. First down.
Thank you, Coop. So before we get to second down, Coop, what should people do that like this channel?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Thank you. All right, let's go to second down.
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
So a lot of Cooper Mays. Which Manning quarterback will Arch be most like? And I'm going to share this as brought to you by Zen Sports from an actual NFL scout that I spoke to.
Dave, you're going to be mad at me because I'm going to take what you're going to say because I already know it. And it's
I
Archie.
knew.
It's Archie. It's obviously Archie.
Yeah.
Because Archie was an athletic quarterback.
This guy's been covering football recruiting for 35 years, and he says he reminds him just like Archie Manning. And for those that don't know, Archie Manning would have won 4 Super Bowls if he were picked by the Pittsburgh Steelers instead of Terry Bradshaw. He was that good. He was elite. He just played for the worst teams, especially when there was a bigger drop-off, and still teams had the mindset of making money means it's a good team. It's a good business. Well, we know now that you can do more. You can do both. So,
And during
yes.
that time, because of the rules, a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback couldn't single-handedly get a team to the playoffs because the rules were you were allowed to just beat the heck out of the quarterback at that time. So
Yeah, very true.
I think sorry.
No, he's very much like Archie Manning, his grandfather, no question about it. I don't know what.
Yeah,
Cooper's
and the shocking part of it is how did Peyton and Eli not get any of their dad's athleticism? That's the real story.
A big zero. You know what I think it was? I think it's as simple as this. I think they were trained at a time. Think about when they're high school athletes. Who were the best quarterbacks? They were pocket passers. You know, whether we're talking about Joe Montana or Troy Aikman or any of those guys, you know, Montana could run a little bit, but what were they taught to do? What did they spend 95% of their preparation throughout their middle school, high school, college careers doing? And that was to be a pocket passer. I think it's as simple as training somebody. I'm not saying that Peyton Manning is going to be like doing reverse jams and you know, windmills and all that stuff, but could he have been a better runner? Yes. The first thing you would want to do is not tie his shoelaces together on his two shoes. Remember he ran around like his shoes were tied together. Did you?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, he was taught to do that, right? But
not when he broke the pocket. I think it's save your rear no matter what.
Well, and it's funny you talk about this because, like, now I always hear about how, like, uniquely athletic, more athletic than every other quarterback John Elway was at the time. But then I'm like, okay, but if John Elway played in this era, would he still have that level of athleticism since every quarterback is athletic like that? Was it just relative for John Elway because no other quarterback was that athletic?
I'm going to give you a 30% yes on that. I think he was goofy athletic because he was a solid 6'5" and thick. I think that would be something that would push him past the average athlete today. But I definitely see what you're getting at. You wouldn't look at him nowadays and say incredible athlete because everybody's an incredible athlete. Before we get to third down, Zen Sports, the new sports book in Tennessee, revolutionizing the way you earn sports betting rewards. That means no more deposit bonuses that turn into deposit nightmares on Zen Sports. What you see is what you get. And with their cash rewards program, you get a lot of cash for a welcome bonus. Earn an unlimited 5% cash back on your betting volume for your first 15 days when you sign up with the code HOOKED. That's HOOKED. Unlimited 5% cash back. Keep betting, keep earning with up to 3% cash back on your betting volume every month after that, and refer friends to earn a percentage of their betting volume as cash rewards too. Zen Sports bringing the cash back to Tennessee. So if you bet big on sports, you want to be betting on Zen Sports. Zen Sports betting just got better. Support our sponsors. Again, use the promo code HOOKED, and you get unlimited 5% cash back. That's pretty awesome. Hey, Coop, I lost track of the downs. What down are we on?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Thank you, Coop. Best raw athlete in Tennessee quarterback history is?
He's currently playing for Tennessee.
Oh.
His name is Joe Milton.
Oh, see, that surprises me. I thought you might go Nico. Okay, so Joe Milton's the best raw quarterback. You kind of got me on this one. All right, I was going to go with either Condredge Holloway or Heath Shuler or James Banks. I didn't think about today, the guy's currently playing. But when you figure in size-speed ratio, it's probably Joe Milton. But I'm going to make an argument quickly for Heath. And I think this is a very solid argument. And I'll take Heath, as a matter of fact. I think Heath Shuler had somebody come up to him, put their arm around him at 7 or 8 years old and said, you can be a decathlete. You can win the decathlon in the Olympics. No doubt about it. He would have been as successful doing that as he was a quarterback, maybe even more so. So I'll take Heath Shuler, and here's why. Because when I watch Joe Milton, I don't see great lateral. I don't see great hips. I do see a great, powerful runner with speed and the strongest arm that I've seen since T. Martin and maybe stronger. But Heath Schuler had that ilk of arm. He was a better runner overall than Joe Milton. I think you would agree with that. Tell me if not. And so I think the arm was in the same league and a better runner, even though he might not have the size speed ratio. I think he could shimmy and make you miss. I don't know yet that Joe Milton can do that. So what about my argument for Heath? The best of the three is probably James Banks, but he only played quarterback for a couple weeks against Georgia. So, but that's a whole different discussion for another show. So if I told you Heath or Joe Milton, would you still take Joe Milton as the best athlete?
You make a strong case. I wanted to point out, it's funny when you mentioned James Banks, because I thought, James Banks is probably the best raw athlete to ever play quarterback at Tennessee. But you're right. Then he moved to receiver, and then he got kicked off the team. And I mean, I said I think I told you a few weeks ago, I don't know anybody that threw away a more Hall of Fame NFL career. James Banks would have been a multi-millionaire if he just wasn't so much of a head case. I mean, nobody threw away their life. Like
no argument. And I think people make that statement too easily, but I have no argument whatsoever.
Yeah. Now with Heath, so Dave, so I was so young, I've seen Heath Schuler highlights, and I will say the thing that sticks out to me about Heath Schuler that I will say is his elusiveness, where he was very good at throwing side to side on the run. I don't know if any quarterback has ever been better throwing on the run than Heath Schuler at Tennessee. I've never seen a quarterback that was well on the run. Now, all of his highlights are him throwing on the runs in some way a lot of times, but who was more athletic, just pure athletic, then does T. Martin have a case? Or like if you put T. Martin and Heath Schuler in a decathlon, who's the best?
I think Heath. And I will say this too. There is one throw, if you want to go back and look at that, I was in person in that game because I had a friend who illegally sold me tickets. That was a player on the team. You're not supposed to be able to do that. That's how silly the NCAA rules were back then. But I went to the Florida game in which Heath Schuler was a participant. So what year would that have been?
92 or 93? Was it at Neyland or at Neyland?
No, it was at Florida. So
no, that would have been 93.
Okay, and and if you want to go back and look, he threw a pass off his back foot from about Tennessee's own 45 that Billy Williams caught right before half. Billy Williams of Alcoa, and the ball would have landed in the end zone. So back foot, 60-yard throw. I think, yes, Joe Milton throws the ball incredibly hard, but I think they're closer than maybe we think because of recency bias. What down, Coop?
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
Other than accuracy, well, let me just ask you this. What's the most important factor in a quarterback if you're a GM? And I don't think it's close, and I'll argue this till my dying day.
I mean, I still think it's intangibles. Like, I mean, it's the. I mean, that's Peyton Manning got a Hall of Fame career on intangibles alone. His intangibles outweighed everything he had physically. And I still think that matters. I mean, and I will never get over, look, Tyler Bray could have had an NFL career as a starter if he had better intangibles. I mean, and so I'm still going intangibles.
Couple of other votes. Oh, Mr. Jones, you just got mine. A couple of other votes for most athletic quarterback. Dobbs, Hooker are top 5. I've had no
Dobbs is not top 5. Dobbs is not top 5.
I have no argument with Hooker. I have no argument with Jarrett Garantano. I would not have Dobbs top 5 either. Accuracy. It is accuracy. That there is something innate about that. It's like being a great shooter in football. In basketball. You can get a little bit better, but innate accuracy. That's why you and I have discussed Troy Aikman, and you think he's overrated. I disagree because I thought he would put the ball on the money where it had to be in a receiver in Michael Irvin that didn't get very open because he wasn't very fast. And he would hit Alvin Harper stride for stride. So I think that accuracy is something that Troy Aikman was blessed with. I think that most people are blessed with that. The thing that I've been so impressed by Josh Heupel is his ability to turn, we talked about this last week, a slightly average quarterback into a very, very average quarterback. So I think it's accuracy.
Very, very accurate, you mean?
Yes. What did I say?
You said into a very, very average quarterback. Slightly
very,
average.
very accurate quarterback. No. Sorry, it's Monday. So I believe firmly that it's accuracy. I think that's it innate. I think Aaron Rodgers has that. I think that's why he doesn't have to show up to offseason workouts for the Packers, which he is now for the Jets. But I just think you show up and you can, it's like the old carnival game. One dude can hit it right in the middle of the old milk jugs, and one dude like me with a 50-year-old shoulder and tried to throw as hard as he could cannot.
Well, I mean, if you have the combination of zip and accuracy, I mean, that's why Brett Favre never had to show up for training camp in his prime, right? Because, like, Brett Favre, whatever you think of him as a person, and I think very lowly of him as a person, but Brett Favre could probably, if he wanted to snap a specific finger in half, he probably could throwing the ball.
Yeah, and you're probably too young for this, but John Madden made a big deal about how hard he could throw the ball. And, a football is laced together as 4 pieces of leather, and how he would hit people so hard in the stomach underneath the shoulder pads, it would leave like the little cross on the end of a football. John Madden just thought that was the funniest thing ever, and he brought it up over and over and over, as John Madden used to do. But
John Madden spoke Brett Favre into a 3-time MVP because he loved him so much.
Okay, so you do remember more of that. Sometimes you're younger than me. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, you do remember that.
I remember that because look, I actually did like watching Brett Favre play in his prime like everybody, but it was nauseating. The whole John Madden was the king of, it's like the little kid in the backyard, just throwing around with his friends. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like, seriously?
Yes, agreed with that. All right, so best athlete, end of the day, your take? I'm taking Heath Schuler. Sorry.
I'm still going to take Joe Milton. I think if Joe Milton had, I think Joe Milton could be trained to do what Heath Schuler was able to do. Honestly, no, accuracy, he doesn't have it. Accuracy has nothing to do with athleticism. So that's true. That's true. If we did a decathlon tomorrow with Heath Schuler in his prime and Joe Milton in his prime, I'm taking Heath Schuler. Or we did something like the battle of the NFL stars, which was always just all right. But who's winning the arm wrestling championship? Who's winning in arm wrestling? Joe Milton or Heath Schuler? Come on, it's Milton.
Well, probably, but there's also modern day advances. I mean, they were giving guys creatine back then, and that's why half Tennessee's football team cramped up before a couple of games in '98 before they determined, whoa, let's lay off this creatine thing. It dehydrates you.
Yep, Florida's game time touchdown to Travis McGriff happened because Deion Grant cramped up right on the throw in '98.